Hello, viewers. I want to share something that I think is kind of fascinating that I heard from a podcast yesterday. So, given that the demand for energy is only going to increase in the future, what does that look like for the supply of energy, and how do we balance that with demand? So, great question. This is one of the most important macro themes in the next few decades. Let's break it down from a contrarian system perspective. So, global demand trajectory, population development. Global energy demand is almost grows with population, urbanization, and rising standards. Billions of people in emerging markets, India, Africa, Southeast Asia, are still climbing the energy ladder from biomass, fossil fuel, electricity, high density sources. So technology and electrification, EVs, data centers, AI, electrification of heating industry will drive huge new loads. AI alone is projected to add equivalent of entire medium-sized country's power needed in the next decade. Elasticity. Energy demands is fairly inelastic. When the economy grows, demand grows. When prices spike, usage dip and never fall off. Bottom line, barring extreme efficient breakthroughs, global energy demand will trend up for decades. Supply constraint. So 80% of global supply is fossil fuels. Oil and gas projects are capital intensive, politically unpopular, and underinvested since 2014. Decline in rates in shale and petroleum oil fields are steep. This sets up supply crunches even before transition. Nuclear, high density baseload, free but regulation, cost overrun, and NIMBYism, small modular reactors could shift this, but scale is slow. Renewable solar and wind are scaling fast but are intermediate without breakthrough in storage or grid infrastructure. They can't fully replace dispatchable energy. They add supply but also complexity. Geopolitical risk, many energy choke points, Strait of Hormuz, South Asia seas, Russia Ukraine pipelines are vulnerable. Supply is increasingly tied to geopolitics, not just geology. Bottom line, supply growth is more constrained than demand growth under current trajectories. Balancing act. Price is a balancer. In free markets, mismatch demands supply are balanced by price. Higher demand, constricted supply, higher prices. That means more volatile in oil, gas, electricity. Energy mix shift transition will be linear. We'll see messy in the middle, where fossil fuels are still required to stabilize grid, while renewables ramp up. Investment gaps and roles undermine investing in both fossil fuel and firm low carbon power. That paradox will lead to periodic prices where renewables can't meet demand and fossil fuel supply isn't sufficient. Efficiency and substitute. As price rises, innovation, efficiency, storage, and new technology, hydrogen, geothermal, advanced nuclear, become more economical. Balance come not from smooth lightning, but from cycle scarcity, peak price spikes, investment, and innovation. And macro implication, inflation pressures, energy is the master input, rising prices feed everything, food, transport, manufacturing. Expect more energy driven inflation shocks. Regional diversion, energy rich nations like US, Canada, Middle East gain geopolitical leverage. Import dependent nations, Europe, Japan, remain vulnerable. Energy, long term opportunity, nuclear, natural gas, especially LNG, grid infrastructure, and energy storage. Fossil fuels will remain investable for far longer than the mainstream narrative suggested. So this is so you see energy is super important, and more importantly, like the implications. So how would that impact the online digital economy, and more so, what are things that more people should know about relating energy to the So sharp connection making most people talk about energy in terms of oil, gas, cars, but the digital economy runs on energy every bit as much as heavy industry. Less visible doesn't impact this. Digital economy is physical. So every online service, Zoom calls, SaaS tools, AI queries, crypto transaction lives in data centers, giant warehouses as servers that run 24/7 and consumes an enormous amount of power and water. Cloud computing feels weightless, but is energy intensive industrial operation. AI training and inference is order of magnitude hungrier than traditional computing. A single GPT class model consumes much electricity training as 100 homes used in a year. The cloud is really coal, gas, nuclear, solar, and hydro in disguise. So energy as a bottleneck. Cost base. For data centers, energy is often 36% of operating costs. Rising energy prices, higher costs for AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and eventually pass to customers. Location wars. Big players are sitting in data center near cheap, reliable power. Iowa Wind, Texas Gas, Washington Hydro, Scandinavian Hydro Nuclear. This will inclusively shape where digital businesses cluster. Cooling demand. Data centers all consume massive water resources cooling. Energy and water stress are linked. The cost of energy, the cost of doing digital business. So coming strain. AI and crypto together. Bitcoin mining already rivals countries' energy uses. Add AI inference, ChatGPT, Midjourney, autonomous systems, and demand explodes. Some say that AI could add equivalent of the Netherlands' electricity demand by 2030. So grid fragility. Digital business consume 24/7 uptime, but grid face instability from renewables, underinvestments, and demand surges. High equals higher risk of outage, brownouts, and higher backup costs. Hidden inflation. If cloud providers face higher energy bills, expect creeping cost increase in SaaS subscription, ad platform, payment processing, and cloud storage. So digital products aren't immune from energy shocks, they're directly tethered to it. What people should know, here the misconception versus reality more people need to grasp. Misconception, digital equal low cost, infinitely scalable. Reality, scaling digital service means scaling energy consumption. Every new user, file, or AI request eats electricity elsewhere. Misconception, green tech make digital clean. Reality, even with renewables, intermittency problem means that data centers heavily rely on natural gas and coal for firm power. AI is growing faster than renewables can stabilize grid. Misconception, inflation is about food and gas only. Reality, energy shocks shows up in your cloud bills, ad spend, Google Zoom subscription, AI API costs. Such a digital economy relies on energy just like the physical economy. Misconception, cybersecurity is still a big risk. Reality, energy security is just a big risk. A power shortage, unstable grid can take a business offline just as easily as hack. Practical takeaways for digital business owners. Energy costs will creep into SaaS pricing, build buffers and budgets. Diversify providers, don't put all our regions in one cloud. Different regions equals different energy stress. Look for host geography. A data center in Texas, gas and renewable versus Norway, hydro, nuclear, faces different risks and pricing. Expect regulations. Government may cap AI, crypto AI energy use or tax data centers consumption. Efficiency equals edge. Leaner code, fewer wasted queries, and optimized workflow equals smaller optimization compounds when energy cost rises. So summary, the online digital economy looks weightless, but it's actually built on the foundation of electricity, grids, and energy markets. So as demand for energy rises and supply is tightened, we'll see higher SaaS cloud costs, location-based advantage for data-heavy businesses, more volatility, risk, and uptime, and new incentives for efficiency. This is really powerful because I was just listening to a Chris Martenson interview with George Gammon and talked about the challenges with energy in the future. And now to be able to put into this form is actually really powerful, especially if you are in the anything to do with digital. I know the irony is you're watching this on YouTube, which takes energy to run. But it's still just kind of good to know when you think about energy in this point of view, how does this impact everything, and it's going to be really helpful to just kind of be aware of what's the second or third order effect of energy use, where it's not just about electricity bill, but more importantly like the supply. And this is something that I think is going to be really powerful and be people to know, especially now with how energy is and where we're going to get the source and the supply of energy going forward into the future, especially now with AI use. So if you like content like this, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll keep creating more content like this to share my thoughts of different topics and what I think about them.